not all loneliness comes from being without people. Some loneliness comes from being in an early, invisible stage of becoming. And I think I I've now known the difference, or I can tell the difference, because life has, or I found myself in different seasons where I feel lonely. You know, the type of loneliness where you feel lonely because you need a community or because you need people. And now another type of loneliness where you feel lonely even though you have people, like you're surrounded by people but you still feel lonely. And another one where you just need someone to choose you, someone to validate you, someone to understand you, someone to be there, and someone to stay. And now there's another type of loneliness, and I think that is what I am experiencing in this season of my life. The loneliness that comes from being in an early stage of building something that matters. You're building something that matters to you, but you're still in the beginning of it. And that comes with some kind of loneliness. My whole healing journey has been in many ways a journey back home, or maybe a journey to finding home within my skin, to finding comfort within my own skin, finding safety within my own skin, finding a place to return to when everything gets heavy, finding a place to return to after a long day. And when I say this, it doesn't happen overnight, and that's why we are calling it a journey. It's a journey that I've had to sit with so many versions of me. I've had to sit with a version of me that feared being alone, that couldn't sit alone even for a moment. It was always surrounded either by people, music, productivity, anything. And sometimes substances. And when I say substances, I don't just mean something you ingest. Sometimes that substance can be alcohol, yes. Other times it can be work. Other times it can be a relationship. I mean, anything that is helping you avoid encountering yourself. Anything that is feeling avoid you feel inside yourself before you sit with it to understand maybe what is there or what it means. And I've had to sit with all those versions of me, and I've learned and I'm learning to not to shame those versions of me. I'm learning to respect them, because I'm beginning to see, I mean, there was a person trying to protect me, and she did everything that she could with the knowledge she had that time. And so she deserved her own respect. And I think that is what healing has been for me. It hasn't been about becoming a different person. It has always been about finding new ways. New ways maybe of doing things. Maybe that is what we call learning and unlearning. I've had to learn about boundaries. I've had to learn about how to communicate them, and even how to sit with discomfort without running to figure it out or running away from it. And that journey can be lonely. And that is what I'm calling the loneliness of becoming. You begin to choose yourself differently, to ask questions about who you are, who you want to be, and even who you are outside who you've learned to be in order to survive. And you begin to see that people don't understand the person you are becoming or you've become. And sometimes you also don't understand or recognize yourself. You don't recognize the person you've become. I think you learn to get familiar with that version of you. And that's why you even find a connection that made complete sense in an earlier version of you. Don't, it's dissolving. It can't recognize the person you've become. And that can be lonely because you are simply not losing someone in your past life because something terrible happened or because they did something terrible. It's losing them because you are both growing in a different direction. And now there is the loneliness of building. When you are in the foundation of building something that matters to you, maybe it's a career, maybe it's a creative life, or a business, or simply a different way of living, and you are at the beginning. Nobody can quite see it, but you can. You can see it in your mind, even though it doesn't exist in the physical life yet. And that's a strange place to be because you know exactly what you are building, but you don't know how to get there. You know the direction, but you can't see the whole path. It's like walking in a path on the dark, or walking on a path in the dark. You take the first step, and only then the next one becomes visible. And then you take another and another. Then you realize, like, the journey is asking something from you. Trust. Not the kind of trust that you trust because you know exactly what will happen. The one that you trust, the one that you take, I don't know how the next 10 steps looks like, but I'm going to take the next one. And I think that's the loneliness of becoming, because you can have people around you, they can love you, they can encourage you, they can walk beside you, but they don't know the exact life you see in your mind, the exact life you're trying to create. They can support you, but they can't feel the weight of your becoming. And they can't even help you with that weight of your becoming that is yours to carry. And that is exactly where I am. And I'm learning to sit with that. And I'm learning to sit with discomfort. I'm learning to feel the void without rushing to feel it. Because I think not all loneliness needs to be corrected. Not all loneliness needs to be cured or even to be romanticized. Some loneliness needs to be accompanied. And I think despite being lonely, I don't think I am alone. Because I know something that I didn't know before. I have myself, and I won't abandon myself while becoming. I know that I don't have to lose myself in my becoming. And I'm learning that I can be uncertain and still be safe with myself. I can be lonely and still be held by me. Until the very next time, my name is Esther. Thank you for keeping me company, and